The Muslim Gen Z should know what the Chinese government did to our Uyghur Muslims. In Chinese concentration camps, new podcast by Mohammed Raj Abdullah, copyright Mr. Abdullah.
Told them to use all the tools of dictatorship and show absolutely no mercy. This was the smoking gun, really. It confirmed the entire campaign was ordered and directed from the very highest level of the Chinese state. So if Xinjiang basically became an information black hole, totally inaccessible to journalists and observers, how on earth did the world find out what was truly happening? Well, the story didn't come out all at once. It was pieced together bit by bit through some really dogged investigative work. It started with a journalist for Radio Free Asia who cleverly got a local official to confirm the camps existed over the phone. Then, a researcher started digging through public documents and found all these construction contracts for huge, fortified training centers. Next came the satellite photos, which gave us eyes in the sky and confirmed these massive compounds were popping up everywhere. And the final piece of the puzzle, those leaked Xinjiang papers, which laid out the internal policies for the entire system. So by 2017, all this evidence pointed to one staggering conclusion. And the number they came up with? Over 1 million. 1 million Uyghurs and other Muslim minorities were believed to be held in this vast network of camps. It was a number so huge the international community could barely even process it. Okay, so the camps exist, that was confirmed. But that just led to the next big question. What was actually happening inside them, and what was life like for everybody else, for those outside the walls? You have what the government says is happening, and then you have what survivors say is actually happening. And the gap between those two stories is just massive. The government calls them professional training centers designed to fight extremism. But survivors, they describe cells and torture chambers, systematic brainwashing, and forced labor and sterilization. And when you hear from people who were actually inside, the stories, they're just harrowing. Omer Bakali, a Kazakh citizen who was detained, described this. I was beaten. They attached electrodes to me. They poured water on my face, and I was suffocating. His testimony, and so many others like it, describes methods that seem designed to break the human spirit, a process that experts have flat out called brainwashing. So you might be wondering, what could possibly land you in one of these camps? Well, this is the crucial part. The state drew up this list of 75 signs of so-called radicalization. And sure, some were about political separatism, but a whole lot of them criminalized completely normal religious or cultural practices, owning a Quran, wearing a hijab, or even closing your restaurant for Ramadan. Any of that could be deemed suspicious and get you detained. Basically, it created this incredibly wide net that could catch almost anyone. And for those outside the camps, life turned into a state of constant surveillance. I mean, beyond the high-tech facial recognition cameras, authorities used low-tech methods too. A QR code was placed on the door of every single Uyghur home. This lets police scan it whenever they want and check if only registered residents are inside. Suddenly, your home, it's just not a private space anymore. And there's another layer to this, a clear demographic goal. For decades, the state has encouraged migration of Han Chinese, that's China's majority ethnicity, into the region. But now there are policies explicitly aimed at reducing the Uyghur population, especially in the south, using things like forced sterilization, with the stated goal of making the Han the new majority there. And this strategy goes all the way down to the youngest generation. Children whose parents have been detained are often sent to state-run boarding schools. The goal, according to President Xi himself, is to plant in the heart of each child love for the party, the country, and socialism. It's a long-term play, really, designed to completely absorb the Uyghur identity into the Han-centric Chinese state.